1 minute, guys.
You may have to restart the phone.
It's not going anywhere.
Leave it then. Use this back button. That one that takes things off. Oh, it's not even showing there. She's having trouble with her phone trying to connect to the software she's using by inviting. It's obvious that it's not going to work from your phone today, so you might as well carry on with your laptop and
What's going on?
can restart the phone. That's not to restart, it's double together. On that one, yeah. Yes. Restart.
Uh, okay, guys. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's show. Um, this is not the usual day that we go live, but we've been having some family reshufflings to do, and we are needing the Sunday evening to be free. We did announce that last Thursday that we'll be doing it on Thursdays now, and it's still going to be at 8 p.m. UK time. Today we were supposed to start, but we have been having some technical issues because we changed the software we were using, and that's why we are running behind time. We sincerely apologize for that delay, and we will try to make sure it doesn't happen another day. Please bear with us. But today we have some things going on that we want to talk about. So it's to do with how women are treated in our society today and in our culture. We don't really want to give it a title because it's a sensitive matter. We just want to talk and chat and have conversation with you guys. So it's regarding the trending thing that is women are being treated as if they are second fiddle or they are not really the full human beings. So you find that older men that have fame, position, and money are getting whatever age of women that they want to marry and keeping them, even sometimes they are a bit underaged or just young adults. And that is becoming a concern today, especially in some cultures. And we want all of us to talk about it. Remember that as we talk about it, then societal and cultural changes happen because these things are not written on stone. It is people that make the laws and cultures for themselves, and they can also as well change it. So today we want to talk about it. So wherever you are joining us from, we want to welcome you warmly. And if you will be watching the replay, we would like to say a big thank you and welcome. It would be nice if you tell us where you are joining from and your name. We really want to connect with you. But let's kick off on today's conversation. So, what do you think is the reason why this is happening over and over? And when we thought that it was ending, they are bringing the trend back. And a lot of young ladies that are just beginning their lives are entering into homes where they should not really be, because we know that the age gap and other circumstances make it to turn out to be a broken home at the end, because the generations are different and a whole lot of things. So, with that in mind, we would like you to, as we go along discussing this, that you can go on the comments and tell us your comments, your opinions and your thoughts on the matter. What do you think? Do you have any personal experience? Do you have any experience that you can share with us of someone you know or someone close to you that was involved in that kind of situation? What do you think about it? Should it continue or not? So, what do you make of the new trend?
Actually, I'm not actually sure if it's a new trend because right from back in the days, this has been happening. Even though that lately it is becoming more common than what it used to be before. But back in the days of our fathers, we do hear people say this thing, or that he pick up a new little girl as a wife. That has been happening for a very long time. So, if you ask me, I'm going to say I think most of the reason why it's happening is because of what I would call power dynamics in men. Because most men believe that they have the power to control things. And fortunately or unfortunately, the society we lived in these days has highly exalted some men into that particular situation whereby it is becoming apparent that they believe that they can do whatever they like. They believe that because they are in control, so they can always go to the supermarket and pick up any age of a woman as an article, and it becomes a wife to them. But I was looking something on Psychic Central from the side of analysis. The data has it that men are usually okay with women up to 10 years younger and 5 years older. He also says, but white women are usually okay with men who are 8 years older and 5 years younger. That same Psychic Central did say that amongst these two comparisons, that the relationship they find working more sustainable, more fulfilling and satisfying is an age gap relationship where there are between 0 to 4 years. That this is where people find fulfilling, satisfying. So, taking into consideration of that analysis and statistics, brings us to the question why we are making this video, to say, from things we hear and see in the society, these people are far older than this age that the statistics says. So when it has gone beyond these statistics, this is why we think it calls for redressing and talking about. And that is why we are talking about it today. My observation is, amongst others, which I will share as we go on, is power dynamics. And do you think power dynamics really is it top, or what? How exactly do you think is it? Does it work?
It has a huge role to play, but I have a couple of reasons why it might be happening, and the bigger picture is what um, the place that society had put women, and over time women have some women have accepted it, and some are realizing that it's not the place they should be, that they are more, and they are beginning to find ways to become themselves and their real identity, and to develop to the point where they, I would say, by I don't know how to say it, without doubt become relevant to the point that they cannot be treated
Yeah.
like that anymore. But you also find some cultures where men are so dominant, and we know that it seems that is the men's world, in workplaces and in homes, in families, everywhere. But I was thinking that by now it would have died, be slowing down. And then suddenly, for whatever reason, we started hearing that more often again. And I was beginning to worry, what's going on? If someone agrees to marry someone without external influences, that should be okay. And it will not matter the age. But what we are finding is not that these young ladies are really, really in love or wanting to marry these older men. What we find is that there are a lot of factors that play a role, from their parents to their families to economic power to grooming, abuse. All of these things are what is playing a role. So let me explain, because sometimes someone could say, this is what I like, but how do they know that they like it? So it would be like someone who went to maybe is a particular country and had only been to one city, and then when they are asked to, let's go and explore other places, or let's move, and then they will say, no, this is where I like. So if you say that's where you like, how do you know that that's where you like, when you don't have alternatives, you don't have options? So if everyone around you tells you that that's okay, chances are that you are going to believe that it's okay, because we know that the environment where we grow up in do have influence over us, and our families and people around us also do have influence over us. So is these and other things that I think are making it look like these ladies are okay with it until they are no longer okay with it. So
Yes.
I think that families, parents that allow it will have to be very sure that they don't have their own personal interest over that marriage or whatever it is. We also know that some are not properly married anyway. It's just that someone says, I like your daughter, or I like, and then somehow you agree because of so many reasons, either out of fear or economic gain, or maybe over time that particular individual had slowly and subtly played their way into that family or into the life of that young lady, either through gifts and you know alleviating poverty and all that. So these are the things I think are causing that situation. And for some that I know, it is either all of these reasons or one of them, or two or three of them, that cause the situation. So maybe parents and families will start looking into it as they see that it's not really working.
I like the option where you mentioned parents and family because in most cultures of the world, parents are the one who endorse marriage relationship before it happens. And when parents says, "Yeah, we are happy for this person to be married to this person," the marriage is done, completed. So, but what we're talking about is some family parents are very greedy. They are too greedy when it comes to things they will gain from that relationship. It's not putting the interests of their child first. Rather, the parents are wanting to have affiliations with the rich, They want to be affiliated with the renowned and with the politicians in most part of the world and with top businessmen. In those cases, these parents are prone to either kind of make say my child is happy to go here. Sometimes the children are not, the kids, the girl in question are not really happy to go there, but because the parents says that, and typically it's believed in some culture that what your parents endorses are usually okay for you. And I do hear this while we are growing up back in the days. A prominent farmer, my dad used to say this story to us. A prominent farmer will come to a house of his friends, and while they are family friends, he will say, "Will this my child like your child? Or will be husband, will be in-laws one of these days." And like joke, before you know it, it becomes in-law, 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 and it becomes an in-law of mouth. From in-law of talking, it becomes real in-law. And in most cases, the prominent farmer who has more seedlings, more crops, will meet the one who is not prominent to say, you know, if this your child comes to me and live with me and marries my son, you people will be upgraded. Your status will go high. And who doesn't want to be upgraded? But because they are seeking that upgrade at the expense of someone's life, someone's future, that is where we are saying it's wrong. So this is the story we used to have those days. My dad used to tell us this story. That was how a lot of people got married back in the days. But now you might be saying those are the stories of the 60s and 80s, but it's happening in today's world. But in the way it is happening, it is still the main thing there is the point of attraction, the things that the parents, the family wants to gain from the so-called in-law, from the proposed in-law. It is the driving force. And that same thing has started all the way back in the 60s, 40s, 80s, which is still happening now. Most of these parents are happy for their children to, permit me to use the word sacrificial lamb, right? So that they will go and their family will be okay. But the question I'm asking is, at the end of the day, are they really okay? Are the children not going through some emotional turbulence? If they are not going through some emotional turbulence, why are they divorcing? Why are the marriage ending? If they are not going through challenges, if they really like it, why is the home breaking down? And the problem will now be, I'm worried, thinking about this. How about when the marriage ends, when they go to the parents, what would they do? What would the parents do? Would they come back and say, "Oh, do you know what? I really don't know what happened. No, I thought it might be okay. But for the fact that I believe it wouldn't be okay, this is what I think is going to happen." So at the end of the day, these things are meant to happen in a way that people do not believe or expect it to be. This is why we are saying, in the real sense, it should not happen at all. It should be avoided completely to avoid people getting themselves into a situation that they really do not like and now begin to wonder, begin to worry that this is what happened to the relationship. I have seen this happen in many places, and I've seen it happen over many social medias and many prominent marriages we see today. This problem is common. It is almost everywhere. But at the end of the day, what I'm expecting, what I'm thinking is, these parents, are they in their right sense of mind to put their children through this? And if they are in their right state of mind, what else could be more punishing than seeing your child go through what I will call, to be honest, I think it's abuse, because within deep down that child, they may not really want to get into that relationship. But because of what the parents made them believe what they have been sold to about relationship and finances, they are now in it. And this is why I believe things like this are meant to be stopped. There shouldn't be need for this anymore because it should stop right away. People should not be made to go through such a humiliating situation when it comes to relationship, marriage, family, especially for a child, for a younger adult who is still looking up for his future on how he's going to grow. Things like that should be discouraged. That is one point I picked up. Another thing I want to talk about is the issue that has to do with financial benefits for women. Most women would like to have that financial benefit. Why I call it financial benefit is simply because
I'm not sure what's going
at
on.
the end of the day, the benefits they are getting is what's attracting them to get into such type of living. If it's not that benefit they are getting, they wouldn't want to get into this type of relationship because it is purely beneficial to the people, but not to the wife who has gone into that relationship. So if it benefits other persons and does not benefit the person who is supposed to benefit, is that really a marriage? Is that really a relationship? I would say no, it isn't relationship. I would say such should not be tolerated because it violates the right of the lady as the right to choose who she should marry or not marry.
Okay, so guys, sorry, something has gone wrong technically, and I think we have lost um, YouTube and Facebook. We just reconnected to Facebook, and so we are going to continue the conversation on Facebook. 1 minute.
I think it's still live because it's written 2 minutes there, so I think it's still okay. It didn't stop. It's okay. The time is still going. 22:31. It's okay.
Refresh to, how do I refresh? I can't see it recording.
It, why can't you see recording? Okay. Right. You know what we do? It started recording again.
All right. Sorry, guys. This is, we don't want it to mess up tonight because we believe that the conversation we are having is an important one and also timely. And we want to make sure that this video gets to a lot of people. We know that this is like a pandemic now in our society today. We also know individually and collectively in our private places that that is not supposed to be happening. And we are talking about the trend that older men, for all reasons known to them, are picking young, young, young adults, some of them underaged, and turning them to wives. We also know that a lot of grown-ups had had that experience and probably had overcome that or escaped or came out of such relationships. But we want to talk about it so that it's not that there is not an awareness already, but maybe if we start talking more about it, we will kind of get into the space where we start working towards it again to end it. So for a lot of reasons, either position, power, economic power, family interest, and selfishness. Sometimes is an abuse on a child or on an individual because they were turned to an scapegoat, and the person now become the breadwinner of the family. It's always something there that says, and when you look at the behavior and conduct of the young ladies, it's very glaring that this isn't really what they wanted. They didn't actually plan for it. They would have loved to marry the people they chose by themselves. But this is happening because they have been groomed, they have been abused to believe it to be true, they have been convinced and told all manner of things that is the right thing to do most of the time for the family, for others, for your siblings, and is taking place. And sometimes you find that it wasn't the family, it has nothing to do with the parents or loved ones. It's just purely a matter of an adult grooming young people and convincing them that it's okay to marry them. So we are not saying at all that if someone that is very young finds love in an older man, that it is not supposed to take place or is a bad thing. But we are saying that a lot of times it's not that they are in love, they have no idea what is actually going on. They don't even know what they want, and other people are explaining to them and telling them what they want. And that's why a lot of the times these marriages, or they kind of set up does not work. A time comes when they grow up and find that that's not really what they want, and then there is a breakup. But the concerning thing there is that now there are children born out of that relationship. And even though the mother may be free now, then they are going to grow up in that kind of setting. And that's what is most concerning. So we are talking about some of the things that could cause that, and the role that society, culture, family are playing on this particular subject to see that this is happening, and why it's important that it stops. So we have talked a lot when we started, but we did have a problem technically that stopped the recording, and we are starting again just on Facebook, I believe. I'm not sure if YouTube is still recording, but I know that we are live on Facebook. So please join us if you are just knowing about it, and call friends and family. Let's talk about this, and make sure, please, that you share the video. There may be someone somewhere, maybe a young lady that is thinking, is it possible for me to escape this, to overcome this challenge, so that they will know that yes, it's possible. They can escape, they can overcome it, because a lot of people have done so. And when they know that, it will give them the confidence to work on their escape and on changing that relationship. So
Why do you call it escape? Why is escape? My understanding of the word escape is when you hedge somebody a ransom against his wish, and they are looking for a way to get out of unfavorable situation. Using the word escape tells me that they don't like it. They are not happy staying there. So
but it says more of the person who is the husband or the wife, whoever it is that is taking advantage of the other. That's It says more about them, because they are benefiting and they would not want to stop benefiting. So there is no way they would want on their own to let the other person they are taking advantage of to go. And that's why sometimes it may be a game, a plan of to escape. It may be that they just have to find a way out of that situation, out of that home, out of that environment, and get to a place of safety because they will still want them back.
But I have had a similar conversation with someone in the past, and the person vehemently said to me, "Why do you run an unpaid activist role for people who are happily married, who love who their husband is, who are okay with the whole scenario? That you, being who you are, may not like it, but is it your business, which they like where they are?" And as you can see on the social media, everywhere they post their pictures with themselves and their family and their husband. They go on vacations, that they like it. That he believe if they don't like it, they wouldn't be fronting it out there. That I am the one making a mountain out of molehill, that it does not really make sense what I am saying, because this person appears to enjoy the relationship. That is not even bothered. She's not even bothered about the age, because he's always having fun with the husband. So now my question is, can somebody fake happiness to please the society or to please the other partner? Is it possible? And if possible, how long can that last?
So it's possible. The first answer is that it's possible because when you are in such situation and you think and believe, maybe because you've been told and you believed it, that there is no way out, that you have to settle for it, and that there is some families when their daughters, okay, I want to pause here and mention that sometimes it's the other way around. There are some men that are in that situation too, that were groomed or being coerced into marrying an older women, and they are still in that situation where they are, it seems like they are slaves, because sometimes they are just glorified slaves. They have to be given what they want, the ones that the people that coerce them into marriage or their partners want them to have. They have to do as told. They have to wear what they are told to wear, eat what they are told to eat. They maybe sometimes it's just their family that behind the scene are benefiting from that arrangement. So it can happen to men as much as it can happen to women. But we are talking about women because it's more predominant. So sometimes when these men take up these young women, all they know is they look up to them as their master. They look, it's not really a lot of time such a loving and intimate relationship. It's kind of like a master slave relationship most of the time. Remember that we are giving the general opinion, because there are some situations where some people have found it very suiting and very comfortable living with older people, but it's just very rare. Most of the time there is something driving these young women to be wives to these older men. So it's either they are like slaves, they don't have a voice, they don't have a mouth to say anything, they have no opinion, no choice, and there are no people to come to their rescue. So if there are people that can speak for them, that can guide them, and that believe that it's okay for them to come out, most times they won't stay too long in that relationship. So that's what we are talking about. So yes, it's possible to fake it. What else would you do to please the person that is in that position as the husband, if not to believe, for to make them believe that you are really okay? Because if you are not, then you will be cautioned and put in your place sometimes. So it is possible, but I've just said the reason why it can happen. Yeah.
Okay, I understand that now. So that it's possible that they can fake it
Mm-hmm.
because in the real sense they are kind of held at ransom because they don't know they have no choice, to be honest, and in that stage
Yeah,
that
maybe.
their choices are slightly limited to what they can
Yes,
do.
yes,
Mm,
because the
but
ransom and captors may be very harsh words to
yeah, I
use
decide to
because
withdraw
they
them.
go out and come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in while you are explaining that, you made mention of because some people actually prefer to have older men. Some women prefer to have older men compared to younger men, and I have come across scenarios like that. The reasons I gathered was that the older men wouldn't break their hearts, just like the young men will, because the older men has seen it all, and they are not in a haste to make decisions that will really make them sad. And also it was also said that the older men will look after them more than the younger men, that the older men will cherish them, show them more love than the younger men. But the only thing that they could miss is the sexual satisfaction, that the older men may not be very, very active to say, but in other things, they are there to provide it for them. So in the real sense, some would say, well, for those ones who are not too keen with sex can say to me, do you know what? This is my type. I like this one. It's okay. I don't bother. But for the Gen Zs and the ones who are really hype, sex hype, they might say, no, I wouldn't want the old man. I'm not interested. I want to explore my body. These instances do happen. People have various reasons of choosing who they want. That does not mean that it's not their choice. But what we are saying in the real sense is those who it became obvious that if given opportunity, they wouldn't go for that person, for an older man. But because either for financial gain or for pressure from family or for societal affiliation or for other things that will make them believe that, oh, they are standing up, they will now choose to go with older men. And on that note is why most of the coaching program we run, but Chichi is an expert in those areas, is on women finance and women empowerment. When it comes to a woman knowing your worth, that you actually don't have to rely on that older man to provide for you, because if they are able to cater for their financial needs in the real sense, some of them wouldn't go for the older men. And there are things that could help them to know their worth by earning their own money, doing things on their own that could earn them a living. That is why we are saying this. So if you are ever thinking of, well, I think I'm not going to get into that now. It's okay. I want older men, but I really don't like it, but I don't have option. We are saying you have an option if you really think you don't like them, but because there's no way you can stand on your feet without them supporting you financially. We are saying there are financial coach like Chichi them who could guide you on things you could do to earn your own money, because when you earn your own money, it's happier spending it than when some people give you. Although some people will say to me, I don't want to earn it. Let them give me 999. I want to talk to Daddy PO.
Okay, so having said all of that, we also want to acknowledge the fact that sometimes it is out of greed that some young women enter into this situation. So some of them assume financial responsibilities of their families, and that pushes them into getting involved with someone who already had made it, who have the economic power to be able to support them in carrying their own financial burdens,
Mm-hmm.
especially when that was the promise before getting married or for getting married to that man. Although sometimes they fail,
Do
but
people make such
that's
promise?
that's the promise. Yes, most of the men, That's the promise they make, either verbally or non-verbally, by their actions and all of that. That's the promise they make, that I'll take care of your family. And a lot of families agree to that arrangement because of that economic gain. But some women, it is on their own, in their own accord, that they get involved and convince their families that it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because they are greedy. Now, it's not only money that people are greedy for. There are other things that people are greedy for. When you want everything, you want to get this from here, get the other one from there, that's when you are classed as greedy, when nothing is enough for you. So it may not have to be about money, it may be other things like popularity, influence, power. Also, some people get involved with these powerful men because they want to themselves become also powerful. They want everybody to respect them. They want to be number one. There are a lot of things that could cause someone to believe that it is okay to get involved in that marriage. And we are talking about those who it is not okay for, that genuinely is not okay for them. They are there for something. So this is one of the reasons: greed, wanting everything. You want this from this person and that from the other person, so you can make up and have it all. That could lead to that kind of situation. And when trapped, it's difficult sometimes to come out. And then they remain there until it's no longer working. So there are other things too that can, cause it. What else do you remember that could be the problem?
We've talked about power dynamics in men. We talk
Yeah.
about financial benefits to women. Talk about family, parents, and greediness. What else can I think?
There is also, should I say, being naive. Sometimes not being, streetwise.
Exposed.
Yeah, it can cause it because some people entered into it before they know what was happening. They are already fully involved, and there is no, to them, no way of coming out. Because if you don't know the signs, if you don't know the red flags, then you will think that somebody actually means well for you and your family, until you get in and then realize that the intention or the motive was really wrong. So some people will start by helping you, by cheering you up, by doing this or the other one, and then you fall for it. And then by sweet talking you, you think that yes, it's okay. And before you know it, you're pregnant and you have children. And then maybe for some people, the master slave relationship will kick in. You will no longer be treated as wife, and now you'll be treated as a slave. And at that point, everybody had gone. There is nothing you can do. So it's a lot of things to watch out. So if you're out there, you're a young lady, and it's not really your cup of tea, then you need to pay attention to details. You need to start thinking and processing in your mind, what could this mean? What could the other one mean? Does it really mean this? Actually, should such relationship exist? Why will he want to help me? Why should I go to him for help? And all of those things. Is there no other way to help than this close? Those kind of things are the things you have to be watching out for, because it's so subtle. And before you know what was going on, you are in. And sometimes a lot of promises, you need to vet them and find out, is that really true? And if it's true, why? What is it in it for the person that is making the promise? Because if you truly analyze it, you might find that it may not really be true. So there are a lot of ways to find out. And for parents also, that's the things to be checking. It is true that you may tell your daughter not to, and they agree, and they just decide to do it. But at least you will have a free conscience that you tried and all of that, and maybe not benefit from that arrangement. That could give you peace of mind.
Right. To round up, I would say, yes, we've talked a whole lot about these things for the past hour now. Um, Having discussed this, I would say a lot of people are into this mess as we speak today, and they don't know how to come out. Within our team, we have therapists who will help you to come out from such situation only if you are willing, right? Because I also understand that most of them may not be keen to come out of it, like be bold enough to do it, because sometimes they are monitored seriously. But there are ways we could work with you. If you are able to send us a quick DM to say, get me out, a member of our team will respond to you to find a solution to the situation. These are only people who are in it but don't like it, needing way out. We are happy to work with you and provide a solution out of the situation.
And truly, you don't have to say, get me out if it is not safe to do so. If your device is monitored, then that wouldn't be the nicest thing to say. So you can just make a comment and we will check all the comments and probably have a private chat to know if you are safe or not safe. Remember that uh, whatever happens, a time will come when if it is not okay, it will not be okay. So the earlier you work on it, the better for you. It's one life you have. You want to live it to the full and enjoy living it. You don't want to be a modern slave. No, you don't want to be that. And if you're not happy, you are not happy. And let's not forget to mention that we are not advocating people leaving their marriages or all of that, because it's important that we mention that we don't bring people out of their homes. In fact, we believe that divorce and separation is not the way to resolve issues, that you can resolve it other ways. There are strategies that you can use, and skills you can learn to make your relationship very amazing. But we are talking about people who it is not really their choice. They didn't make that decision by themselves. They were coerced into it. For them, it's not really like they are married, and maybe they are not married. Yeah, most of the people we are talking about and wanting to reach out to are not married, not culturally, not traditionally, not legally, not
Structurally,
religiously. They are not married. Someone had just lifted them, plucked them from their family or from anywhere they met them, and put them in a house, cohabiting with them and making babies or whatever they are using them for, and they are in that situation. They are the people that we are talking about. So don't forget to put that behind in your mind, that we are looking for those who are kind of trapped in a situation where they think there is no way out. We want them to know that there is a way out and that they can come out, they can overcome and make their way into living the best of their lives and getting married also. So um while we wrap up, we want to recount the things that we have said. So if you are coerced into getting married, if you have been groomed over time, and by the time you realize it, you are kind of living in a family setting and all of that. If you are not married but have been converted to a wife for several reasons, this is for you. If also your family had just given you away because of the things they will gain, their own selfishness, then this is for you. If when you call, no one is coming because they are actually benefiting from that arrangement you are in that they call marriage, then it is for you. If also that you are in a place where you escaping is really difficult, even though you want to disengage from that arrangement, but you can't because of some obvious reasons, or you are thinking that, well, now you have children, how are you going to go with them without any finances to support yourself, no economic power, you have no skills? Because some of these young ladies are taken away at their prime before they could learn a skill or go to school and all that. So if you are in that situation and wondering, how am I going to become a single mom? How can I, where am I starting from with nothing? Then this is for you. We want you to know that it's possible and you can actually make the most out of your life. A lot of people have done it, and so it is possible also for you. And I'm sure that you would like it. You want a situation where you will live your life to the full, fulfill your purpose, and also enjoy relationship, be married, properly married, or marry someone you really want, or be in a marriage situation properly. So that's what the people we are calling out for. We are not calling out those who went and got married and are living in a marriage arrangement. So so that it is very clear. And whatever it is, don't consider too much where you are at now. Just look forward to where you are going to be when you take a step. And remember that the only step you have to take, the important step you have to take is that first step, and everything else will fall into place because you will have people that will help you to fix your life back. So, any last word?
Not for me, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Please enjoy your evening, your night, your afternoon, or your morning. And we really, really sincerely want to apologize for the technical hitch we had today. It was terrible, but we didn't want it to mess up the evening. And again, we want to announce that our podcast is going to be on Thursdays now at 8 p.m. and not on Sunday anymore because of some family um, changes that needed to be done. We are not, we are needing our Sunday to be completely free now. So please do join us, put it in your diary, make your notes, set your alarms, and join us on Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. UK time for interesting and timely conversations. We really do appreciate your presence and company when we come on live. So thank you again, everyone, and
Have a nice day. Good night, everyone.
good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye. Is it- Mhm. Where are we? We? Oh, stop.
No, no, end section for all.
Where?
Yeah, end section for all.
Okay.